Hey guys, welcome to today's video and thank you so much for stopping by. So from today I'm starting my best of beauty 2019 videos, and by videos I mean I have tried so many foundations, so many primers, blushes, bronzers, eyeshadows, so many beauty products during 2019, and so many of them are so good and you need them in your collection. So I just decided to divide this video into some parts so that it doesn't become too long. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you all the foundations, all the amazing foundations that I tried during 2019, and I just fell in love with them. Now, please keep in mind, I still love my Maybelline Fit Me foundation, my Milani foundation, my Maybelline Dream Satin foundation, my MAC NC, my MAC Studio Fix. I was just going to tell you my shade. My MAC Studio Fix foundation, I love all of them, but I have been using those foundations since like 2013 or 2014 I believe, so I'm not including those foundations in this video. I'm including only the foundations that I tried during 2019 and I just fell in love with them, so please keep that in mind. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So I have only two high-end foundations and the rest of them are drugstore, so this video is going to be really fun. So first one that I have raved about here in my channel, and this foundation is so good. I still use it whenever I'm going out. I still prefer this foundation over my other foundations, and I'm talking about this Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Foundation, and I'm in the shade 310 Sun Beige. I have done a full in-depth review of this foundation. If you are interested, I will link it down in the description bar below, so please do check that out. First of all, the texture. It is so lightweight and it is so runny kind of texture. It just blends beautifully on my skin. It does not emphasize any texture. It makes my skin look so smooth, so airbrushed and flawless, and it is a full coverage foundation. It is so lightweight, but I would say it is a medium to full coverage foundation. If you layer it up, it becomes totally full coverage foundation, and the best part is it has an SPF of 50 in it, which is great. So during daytime, whenever I'm going out, I use my sunscreen and I just use this foundation on top of it, or if I feel like I do not even use my sunscreen, I use only this foundation and I'm good to go. So this is a perfect choice for a day-to-day use, and this is a perfect foundation for college going and office going girls out there, and it is also affordable. It lasts on me throughout the day without breaking apart, without creasing. That is another good thing about this foundation, and it does not oxidize at all, which is another yay. Especially if you have dry skin like I do, this foundation is great for you. But if you have oily skin, I have seen so many reviews. People who have oily skin, they have tried this foundation, even they like this foundation. So this is such a great foundation I have come across during 2019, and I will be repurchasing this foundation 100%. So this is such a great product. Next one is from NYX Cosmetics. This is the NYX Cosmetics Total Control Drop Foundation over here, and this is in the shade F12. And what a foundation. The consistency is so liquidy, it is like water, and you may think that this kind of watery texture, it won't cover anything, but let me tell you, you are wrong. It has a very watery texture, watery consistency, but when you apply it, it spreads beautifully and it gives you a very full coverage. Still, it looks very natural on the skin. It doesn't look heavy or cakey, and it is very lightweight. So if you wear it throughout the day, it won't become heavy, it won't become cakey. I have dry skin. This does not make me even drier, but it is on the matte side, so I believe it is going to be perfect for people with oily skin. And one more thing, if you have large pores, you need a pore filling primer. Since the consistency is so watery, it may settle down on your pores, so you need a pore filling primer with this foundation. And yeah, I just cannot stop raving about this foundation. It is such a great product. The next foundation in my collection that I just love is this L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation. It is a new launch by L'Oreal, not new anymore, but it is, I think, their latest launch, and I'm in the shade 470. I also have the shade 475 when I'm tanned. I use that one. Other than that, this is my perfect shade. What a foundation, guys. Tati was 100% right about this foundation. She was raving about it, and I know why. I traveled with it. When I was in Ohio, I took only this foundation with me. Not actually only this one. I took this one and this two only me. So you can tell how much I love these two foundations. This foundation is perfect for all skin type. No matter what skin type you have, oily skin, oily, dry, normal, combo, you are going to love this foundation. It is so full coverage. I would say it is medium to full coverage, but when you build it up, it does not become cakey, and it is very long lasting. It just makes your skin look so flawless, so smooth, so airbrushed. And if you wear this foundation, no one can tell you that you are wearing a drugstore foundation. The quality is so good. So I have so many high-end foundations as well, but this one, according to me, is the best foundation I have ever tried, and the longevity is insane. It lasts on me, though it is like 24-hour wear foundation, but I haven't tried it for 24 hours. I have tried it for like 10 to 12 minutes, 10 to 12 hours, and it lasted on me throughout the day. It does oxidize just a bit, not too much, just a bit. So you have to be careful whenever you are picking up a shade for yourself. So I cannot recommend you enough this foundation. If you haven't tried yet, please go ahead and try it. And one more thing, if you are from India, there is another Infallible foundation from L'Oreal. This is a complete different product. This is their fresh wear foundation. Though the packaging looks quite similar, if I can find a picture of that foundation, I will like insert it somewhere here so you can compare it totally. It is a completely different foundation from that one. So yeah, that's just a quick FYI. So yeah, go for it. This foundation is bomb. The next foundation I have in my collection, I tried it recently, like 2 to 3 months ago maybe, and actually at first when I tried it, I was not that impressed, because if you have been following me for a while, you must know that I was dealing with really bad skin issues. Now my skin is fine, and at that time I wanted a foundation that will cover up everything and anything that I have on my face, that will give me a flawless and very like airbrushed glam look. And I tried this foundation at that time and I did not like it. But now that my skin is doing really well, I tried this foundation and I just fell in love with it. And I'm talking about this Physcians formula, the healthy foundation. It has an SPF of 20 and I'm in the shade MN3 over here. Though the shade range is a bit crappy, I think they should come out with some more shades. I do not like the doe foot applicator over here. I believe it does not spread the product evenly. Other than that, this foundation is so good, so easy to blend. One more thing, it does not give you a lot of coverage. If you are someone who is a full coverage person or who wants full coverage, full glam look, then this is not for you. Whenever I'm doing my party makeup or I'm going out at night, I do not use this foundation. However, whenever I want very natural looking skin, like I want my skin to peek through, I am having good skin days, I use this foundation and it looks so good on me. And one more thing, it gives you not even medium, I would say sheer, but leaning towards medium kind of coverage, if that makes sense. Like this is sheer, this is medium, and this foundation is here, very close to medium, but not that sheer, if that makes sense. So, but you can totally build it up and then it becomes so full coverage. One more impressive thing about this foundation is no matter how much layer you apply of this foundation, it does not become cakey. It is insane. So yeah, I highly recommend you this foundation if you are someone who wants very light natural looking like foundation, then this is definitely for you. So yeah, just go for it. Next foundation, again I tried it like a couple of months ago and I just fell in love with it, and this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate full coverage foundation with hyaluronic acid in it, and I'm in the shade F10. Again, I have done a full in-depth review of this foundation. I will link it down in the description bar below, so please do check that out. What a foundation! This has become my go-to foundation ever since I got it. But I must say they have to work on their shade range, not actually shade range, the undertone, because previously I got the shade 9.5, which was like way too yellow for my skin tone, but then I got the shade F10. It is a tad bit pinkier for me, so I think they have to work on their undertone. Other than that, first of all, it blends beautifully. Secondly, it is so full coverage, you guys, so full coverage. Third, it is truly a hydrating foundation. If you are a dry skin type, or I have seen people with oily skin, they even love this foundation. But if you have dry or normal to dry skin, this is going to be your best friend. It just gives your face a very nice luminous effect, which I absolutely love, and it does look like your own natural skin. It is full coverage, but it does look very natural on your skin. It is very long lasting, very long lasting. And one more thing, I have seen almost all foundations. I am a very expressive person and I have a deep set of fine lines, so fine lines, smile lines, anyway, so all my foundations, they tend to settle on my smile lines. Only this foundation doesn't settle on my smile lines, which is, I don't know how it does that, but it does not settle on my smile lines, which is like a great plus point, at least for me. The day when I was testing it out, after 5 or 6 hours, my smile line, the area over here, it was looking so damn flawless, as if I do not even have those deep smile lines, and I was totally shocked. It lasts on me throughout the day. It does not break apart, it does not become heavy or cakey. And you know, there are some hydrating foundations, once you apply it, after like 4, 5, 6 hours, they become matte and they become very dry. But with this foundation, it does not happen. After like 10, 12 hours, still my face feels really hydrated. My face does not feel like dry or dehydrated at all. It does not make me break out, it does not make my skin look overly oily or something like that. I highly recommend you this foundation. This is so good. Next one is again a Drugstore foundation, and if you have been following me for a while, you must know I always rave about this foundation, and whenever I'm doing my bridal makeup, I always tend to use this foundation. And I'm talking about this Maybelline 24-hour Super Stay foundation, and I'm in the shade 220. I have done a review of this foundation. I will link it down in the description bar below, so please do check that out. What a foundation! It is so full coverage. When you want that full glam makeup look, this is for you. I am so impressed with this foundation. I think there is no Maybelline foundation that has disappointed me. Is there any foundation? No. I have tried their Fit Me, I have tried their Dream Satin, this, oops, I just dropped it. So yeah, I have tried their Fit Me, their Dream Satin, their Fit Me Dewy Smooth Foundation. This one, I think Maybelline knows their foundation game and their mascara game. Their foundations and their mascaras are amazing. So yeah, talking about this foundation, it is very full coverage, very long lasting. It is affordable, and there are actually two downsides of this foundation. Number one, it does oxidize, so whenever you are picking up a shade, try to use a shade that is one shade lighter than your skin tone. And number two, if you try to layer it up, it tends to become a bit thick, a bit heavy. But I think you do not need to layer it up because it is so damn full coverage. If you wear only one layer of this foundation, it will cover up everything. It is that full coverage. If you are a bride to be and if you are looking for a good affordable option for your big day, just go for it. It is very long lasting, very full coverage, and they have a pretty good shade range as well. So yeah, just go for it. It's really good. So those were the drugstore foundations that I have tried during 2019, and I just love them. Now there are two high-end foundations that I have tried during 2019, and I just love them. And this one is Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation right here, and I'm in the shade Sand. This particular shade, it actually matches my neck, but it does not. It is a bit darker for my face, but whenever I apply a bronzer, a lighter concealer, it works fine for me because it matches my neck. Yes, my neck is way too dark for my face, and I always find it really hard to have that foundation that matches my neck, but that doesn't look too dark on my face, and this is exactly that. Jaclyn Hill literally raves about this foundation every time, and I actually got this foundation on her recommendation, and thank God I did. What a foundation. It is so full coverage, you do not even need two layers, just one layer, boom, full coverage. And it is very natural looking on the skin, very lightweight, gives you a very flawless finish, almost like airbrushed. It is so long lasting, so full coverage, and the undertone and the shade range is amazing. They have a great shade range, which I appreciate so much, and the finish is to die for. Whenever I'm going for a very special occasion, I always tend to use this foundation. If I'm in the mood of using a high-end foundation, I always go for this foundation. It's a bit pricey, but I think the quality you get with this foundation, it's totally worth it. So if you are a bride to be and if you want a high-end foundation, I will highly recommend you this foundation. I just love it. I have a drugstore dupe in my collection of this particular foundation. I tested them side by side, and to be very honest, I could not find any difference. The way they apply, the way they last, the way they look, only the shade, of course, those are two different foundations, though the shades are a bit off, but other than that, I have a perfect dupe for this foundation. Please stay tuned. I am working on a dupe video. I'll be uploading it pretty soon on my channel, so please stay tuned for that. So talking about this foundation, just go for it. The next foundation in my collection is again from Too Faced, and this is their Tutti Frutti Dew You Full Coverage Foundation over here. I got it from TJ Maxx for only $10.99. It is a high-end foundation, but $10.99 is of course a drugstore price. And this is also in the shade Sand. I would say the shades are pretty much identical, and I use the shade Sand in this foundation. That's why I got the shade Sand in this foundation. This is a little too dewy, and for my dry skin, it has been my go-to foundation during winter. I have very dry skin, and I tend to wear dewy foundations during winter, and it has become my go-to foundation. The coverage is insane. It has very full coverage. It covers up everything, but it tends to settle down on my fine lines after like 4 to 6 hours, which I do not mind because most of my foundations do that, so I do not mind. But the coverage is so good. It looks so flawless on the skin. It lasts, at least on me, if I set it with powder and stuff, it lasts on me for about 10 to 12 hours, which I absolutely love. Yes, I tried this foundation with my setting powders and stuff, and the day when I was trying it out, it lasted on me for 10 hours or like 10 to 12 hours. I wore this foundation in the morning, and at night when I was ready to take off my makeup, the foundation was still there. It did not break apart. It did not become cakey or heavy. Though I found the foundation was wearing off from my nose area after 10 hours, who cares, right? The only drawback about this foundation, the only drawback is the smell. It has a very like fruity watermelony kind of a smell, which I'm not a big fan of. The smell is quite overpowering and it lasts quite a longer period of time. I wish they come up with a different variant without that fruity smell, if that makes sense. On its own, this foundation is so good. I highly enjoy this foundation. So yeah, those were the foundations that I found out during 2019 and I just fell in love with them. Those foundations are so good. I cannot recommend you enough. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and I hope this video was helpful for you. If you did, then please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. And if you are not following me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, please do follow me there. All the links will be given in the description bar down below, so please do check that out. So yeah, see you soon in my next one. Till then, bye and take care. Mwah.